What up, gamer peeps? This is the Corporate Gamer Podcast. This is episode 23, recorded on August 10th, 2017. The price to pay for games. I hope that everybody had a great week. I know that I'm recording this a little earlier. It's Thursday night. I have a 4-day weekend coming up, and I want to enjoy the time off, so I'm recording a little bit earlier this week. But enough about my week. Let's get into the news of the week. And what caught my eye in the gaming industry. So, let's start. Xbox One system update preview shows reworked dashboards. So apparently, to those in the special program, probably the alpha testers, you're able to see a brand new dashboard. So basically, the tiles all over the place kind of seems to be replaced. From what I can tell, obviously I'm going to give you guys a link in the show notes. But yeah, so the top is exactly the same as it used to be: home, mixer, community, entertainment, store. Even think mixer is slightly different. You got to have the time and so on top. Then you're going to have in the middle kind of what your selection is, what you want to launch, and then you're going to have pins at the bottom. Kind of like a mini version, I guess, of Windows. So this seems to be a regular thing where they keep adding features and new ways of improving the dashboard. They've been doing that for a few years. The last one that they did is kind of reincorporate, I think, the version of the home button on the Xbox 360. I think they did a similar thing for the Xbox One. I do like it. It took 3 years for it to happen, but it finally happened. But now that we had that, now they're kind of revamping the whole look of it altogether. We'll see how it goes. I'm assuming the home functionality is going to be the same. Basically, according to this Game Rant article, the new home uses a system called Microsoft Fluent Design and is highly customizable. While the base panel is predefined, additional content blocks can be added or removed at will. Users can add a variety of content to their homes. The examples shown in the preview video include adding games, apps, friends, and user pins. Adding a game, app, or friend creates a block unique to that subject. So it looks to be pretty cool. I can't really say until I use it. Hopefully it remains as fluid as it is right now. I did notice that they didn't do some improvements previously. I forget if it was a month ago or two ago when they did the home button thing. They kind of put in some fixes that sped up a bit the dashboard, and it did really, really well. I do feel it's slightly snappier. I'm not saying it's revolutionizing the world, but it did do a bit of improvements. So, to each his own. I hope that it's good, and I can't just want to let you guys know. I don't know when this is getting rolled out, however. Actually, it says in the article the official launch will be available for all Xbox One users later this fall, with more insiders getting access for testing as time passes. Stay tuned for more information. So, yeah, so probably I have a feeling this is going to be released for the Xbox One X. When the Xbox One X gets released, this is going to be the UI that's going to be there, and they're going to update all the previous versions of that as well. That's my take on it. We'll see. So, Xbox panel getting revamped. Staying in the Xbox family, I actually just saw this on egmnow.com. It's the only place where I saw this, so we'll see. So I'm sticking with the Xbox One family. Xbox planning to fundamentally change how achievements work. The current Xbox One achievement system could soon become obsolete. I'm not sure that I was never a huge fan of achievements personally. Like I don't play games specifically for achievements. I know some people try and get the most achievements as possible, and they're really like into getting the most in their achievements. For me, it doesn't really have replay value per se. Maybe for some games, I'd go back and try and see if I can beat my record or try to get an achievement. But I mean, in all, I've had my Xbox Live since the 360, so it's about 8 years now, and I'm at only 12,000 and change gamer points. Um, I think the one that I have the most, um, I don't even remember which one I have the most actually, because it's not Geometry Wars because I barely got anything in there. Um, Probably Pac-Man, DX Championship Edition. I think that's the one that probably I have the most on. But in any case, in general, I don't try and get all the ones like try and beat the game at hard to get that one achievement. That's not the way I roll. I don't know why I said that way, but hey. um, yeah, so they're going to be changing the way that it works. So the head of the VP of Microsoft Xbox, Mike Ibarra, um, Ibarra pointed out that certain highly skilled players, such as those on esports teams, may actually be contracted to only or primarily play a certain game. Even though they may be one of the top players in the world, the current approach to achievements and gamer score does not reflect that person's skill. So maybe they're probably going to revamp, like, time played, you get like, a certain amount. I know that there's random achievements on the Xbox 360, like if you watch on Twitch, um, more than 10 hours of channels with less than 20 viewers or something like that. Netflix has one too, but you don't actually get points for that. You just get an achievement, like boop, it just at one point just pops up. Um, doesn't really do anything for the experience. You don't gain anything. You don't get a free anything. It'd be really cool if you get like you in a certain year, so you have like achievements. So in a certain year, you can maybe get a $1 or $2 off or a free movie if you achieve a certain amount of points in a month. I know that the Microsoft Money thing didn't kind of pan out, but if you have like an Xbox 360 or if they go that far, or they do a oh, that cracked. If they do an Xbox One, where at one point you achieve a certain amount of achievement points in a month, you get like level 1 is like a free movie. Level 2, you get like a free game. Level 3, you get like something in extraordinary, like super beta access to something. That would be really cool, but I don't think that's the way they're going to go. But it seems to be skimpy on the details. Again, I'm going to put this in the show notes. It seems to be very skimpy. We'll see how that works out for them. But so they're reworking the dashboard, reworking the. I have a feeling that they want to do something new for the Xbox One X, and there's going to be a lot of features that are going to be released for that. So when that's released in November, we'll see how that goes. I think it's October. Is it October? Yes, I think it's October. All right. Next story on the list. Not a big one. I have a few Nintendo stories. So the first one is Nintendo's Gamescom 2017 plans include Super Mario Odyssey and Metroid. So it looks like Gamescom 2017. I'm not surprised about Super Mario Odyssey. I am surprised about Metroid though. So it looks like there's going to be something. The second Nintendo game, this is directly from the Game Rant article. The second Nintendo game getting a special Gamescom live stream presentation is Metroid Samus Returns for the Nintendo 3DS. The Metroid presentation will take place the following day on August 24th at 5 a.m. Pacific, and will be hosted by producer Yoshiro Sakamoto and creative director Jose Luis Marquez. So that's pretty cool. I know a lot of people are excited about Metroid. I know it's one of the main franchises that's really popular with everyone that has a Switch or a Nintendo, has actually played a Nintendo in the past. I think that Super Mario Odyssey looks extremely fun. I mean, if I'm not sure if I'm gonna get a Switch yet, but that's the game that would probably turn me on to it. I love Zelda. I've played Zelda in the past. I've played a few of the games, but I'm still a Mario guy at heart, and I think that this is going to be a good game. It looks pretty cool from everything that I saw, so it's pretty cool that Metroid's going to be there as well. Although the article mentions that there's really the big headliners are Super Mario Odyssey and Metroid. Uh, they're actually supposed to also be showcasing Fire Emblem Warriors, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as well. So we'll see. And it seems to be there's going to be a hands-on demo of Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Um, and Pokemon Tournament DX for Nintendo Switch, as well as 3DS games Monster Hunter series, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions. So that's pretty sweet. The Gamescom 2017 will be happening on between August 22nd to August 26th in Cologne, Germany. And just to remind everyone, Super Mario Odyssey is going to be released on October 27th, 2017. So that looks to be pretty fun. I'm really anxious to see this. Maybe I'm going to. I don't know if this is going to be leaked onto online. I don't know if there's going to be live streaming, but this would be really, really cool to see. I really want to see what more they're going to show in Metroid, because at E3 they kind of just alluded to the fact like, hey, we have a Metroid, and people lost their shit with merit. I mean, it's been a while since we had a Metroid game, so this is going to be really, really cool. On that same topic, um, well, not topic, but on the topic of Nintendo, Nintendo World Championships apparently are supposed to come back this year. If anybody remembers in their history, Nintendo World Championships was a tournament in the movie. I keep forgetting the name of the movie, and I should remember, with Fred Savage. Wow, I have the memory of a goldfish. It's insane. Um, that's really not cool. Uh, um, movie. Let's see. Let me look online. The Wizard. There we go. Why didn't I remember this movie? I have no clue the name of this movie. So it was with Fred Savage, and essentially in the movie, it's Fred Savage and his brother. That's kind of not autistic, but he's has social issues, I guess, and they want him to play because he's really, really good at video games, and they're trekking, and they make this trek to the Nintendo Championships, and he gets to there. Spoiler alert: he finally gets there, plays against a bunch of other players, and he ends up winning the whole thing. Obviously, there's it's kind of a comedy slash fantasy type of thing, not fantasy in the sense of space, but it's kind of like it's fiction. I don't think this would ever happen, but this was pretty cool at the time, and this was one big advertisement for Nintendo. So in the movie, for the first time they kind of demoed Super Mario 3, and you can see actual gameplay from that. And shortly after they released the game. So, having said that, move over. They've had a few other Nintendo World Championships. I think they had one 2 years ago. But however, this after taking a year off, they're coming back. Um, so this is pretty cool. So yeah, it's the so many from the article itself, Game Rant. Many may recall that Nintendo resurrected this tournament-style format back in E3 2015. Although the company left it dormant during 2016, still it managed to generate enough excitement back then to be seen as a viable option for 2017. And it turns out that gamers eager to test their metal won't be waiting all that long either. So that's pretty cool. Um, I don't know what games are going to be there per se. There's a whole. I mean, I'm not going to say anything because it's kind of rumors at this point. It's not 100% true or real. But that's going to be happening, and the Nintendo World Championships will be held October 7th in New York at Manhattan Center's Grand Ballroom. Now, according to the last article, Mario Odyssey will be released on October 27th, 20 days after this. I would not be surprised if Nintendo Championships, in the spirit of the original movie, kind of puts, no, like it's a demo, and the people that play there will be the first people to actually play the game a real game, that part of the release game that's going to be out there. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I'm not sure if it is going to be happening, but that'd be really cool in terms of all the fans of all the fans of Nintendo and Mario. I think that would be a pretty sweet wink to the fans, and I think the people would really really like having that. So we'll see how that goes. It seems that a lot of the games would be the yeah. See, even this article kind of mentions it as well. I didn't even uh, mark that in my notes, but yeah. So that would be pretty cool if that would have that. Even Mario Kart maybe. So that's it. Nintendo World Championships coming back in action. All right. Next one. It's not a story that particularly that's going to make me extremely happy because I really don't care. But a lot of fans apparently are very happy that Ghost Rider will be officially joining Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. So it's literally just to say that. I don't have much more to say about that. So it's been confirmed. It was confirmed on Twitter by the MVC Infinite, and the tweet says Ghost Rider joins the MVCI Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite roster at Gamescom on 8/22. But this week he's alongside Merrigan in our Defenders variant cover. So that's pretty cool. I always liked Ghost Rider. He's not my particular favorite character, but that's pretty cool. For those that are interested, I'm sure you know if you are a fan, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite will be released on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on September 19th, 2017. So pretty sweet, pretty short. There's going to be a lot of good games coming out between September and December. It's insane. I mean, with actually, it comes along the name of the show as well. Uh, you have to save up your money to play these games because this could rack up a pretty high bill. Well, that's it for the stories. Now for the new releases for the week of August 7th to August 13th. Starting on Tuesday, August 8th, we have Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice for PC and PS4, Batman The Enemy Within for Episode 1. Well, it's the second season, Episode 1, for Android, iOS, Mac, PC, PS4, and Xbox One. I'm actually, I've downloaded it. I paid for it. Probably after this podcast or very shortly after, I think I'm going to play the episode. I saw a very low rating, at least in the Xbox One ratings. I think it was at a 3 or 2.5. We'll see. I normally wait for the whole season to come out because I kind of want to play the whole thing together and not in episodes like this. But I like the last one a lot, and I think that and I really like Telltale as well. The last few games that I've played, I've really really liked The Wolf Among Us, Batman, the Telltale series. That's it recently. I haven't played The Walking Dead, although it was free and I downloaded it for 1 month. I didn't have a chance to play it, but I think that's going to be a good one. I really like the art style of these games. I really like the story. It's really well. Normally, it's really well done. I haven't looked at any other reviews other than the Xbox dashboard, so we'll see how that goes. Lawbreakers for PC and PS4. Armello Deluxe Edition for the PS4. Black Hole Complete Edition for the PS4 and Xbox One. Cat Quest. Sounds very interesting for the PC and PS4. Comet Crash 2. The Chroncoid Wars for the PS4. Graceful Explosion Machine for the PC and PS4. Icy for the PC and PS4. Masquerada Songs and Shadows for the PS4. Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. I have the first version, which is pretty much the first 5 to 7 games, I think. I don't remember. And I really enjoyed it because it has the original Mega Man, so I'm really cool about that. I don't actually know what's included in the second one. I haven't read up on it, but I mean, if it's the rest of the games, I think after the NES games, I kind of didn't really follow Mega Man all that much. So maybe it would be an opportunity to play those old games and kind of rediscover those games as well. So we'll see. Neon Drive for the PS4, Neptune Flux for the PSVR, and Sign Mora EX for the PS4. Thursday, August 10th, we have West of Loathing for Linux, Mac, and PC. ACA Neo Geo again, the another Neo Geo game. The King of Fighters 2000 for the Switch. Eliminage original for the 3DS, and Flip Wars for the Switch. So that's all for Thursday, August 10th. And then we have one last one, Friday, August 11th, The Escapists 2 for the Xbox One. I downloaded the original one when it was Games with Gold. It was free. I kind of liked it. It was fun, but it didn't grab my attention too much. In terms of like I would play it for a couple of days and not play it for a week, and then I didn't miss it. So I'm pretty sure that's yeah, that I'm not sure if it's a game for me, but we'll see. So those are your games for the week, August 7th to 13th. Let me know what you guys think. Which ones are the ones that you would like to play? Which ones you're planning to buy? Let me know, and we'll see. We'll discuss them on the show. All right, now on to the topic of the week. Dun dun dun. All right, so the topic of the week was actually brought to me. Well, I decided to talk about this because I had an exchange with a coworker, a buddy of mine, and it's actually funny. So I get this random message on Skype because we use Skype for business at work, and I get like I'm I'm pissed off, I'm angry, and I'm like, okay, what's wrong, right? He's like, did you know that games on the Switch are $80? Or games in general on consoles are $80. I'm like, yeah, that's the general price for a AAA game that gets released at least. And he just could not believe it. He actually got up from his desk, came to my cubicle, and we just for about 10 minutes just going on how like incredibly stupid that pricing is. Um, so it came, and I've heard this argument as well previously from I think CatCast as well. You know, oh yeah, the console itself is $300-400, but if you include the game that comes with it, well actually there's no games that come with it, so you have to buy a game, and chances are you're gonna buy a game that's you know that you want to play, right? A AAA game, and in this case it was Zelda, right? It was the only one that was a really big AAA game on release day, but that's a $79.99 purchase, and so you're actually kind of paying $500 for the console. I know that the argument has gone, every gaming podcast has spoken about this, and it is a pain point for a lot of people, and it's not just for the Switch; it's for Xbox, PlayStation, whatever the case may be. And the pricing that I'm talking about is Canadian pricing. So it's, so when you're buying something, anybody in Canada will know you're buying like $500. So $400 for the console plus $80 plus tax, which is pretty much 15%. You're kind of paying like a significant amount of money for a console. And that's the Switch, which is the cheap console. If you're planning to buy like the Xbox One X, at least the Xbox One X, you'll be able to play the old games that you've had, which is pretty cool. But still, you're kind of buying, the Xbox One, the One S, and the One X. They all went through the same thing, right? Same thing for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation Pro, 4 Pro, and the Slim, I guess. I don't even know if that's out yet. Yeah, I think it is. So when you're buying the console itself, it's a pretty significant, investment. And So that's just the console itself. The games themselves, a regular game, AAA game, normally out of the gate is $79.99. In certain cases, like in the case of Mass Effect, you can maybe get a rebate like a month after. It fell to $59.99, and I'm pretty sure it's going to fall to $39.99 pretty soon, if not already. Um, so you're kind of, you know, dishing out a lot of money if you want a game first day. I'm sure you've heard if you listen to my podcasts, I tend to download a lot of the free games, and that's one of the reasons. I I can't afford all the games that I would want. I have to show restraint. I mean, I bought Batman because it was $29.99 for the whole season, um, and I think it's a pretty nice compromise. I do want to support the game, but at $80, unless it's coming, with a gold watch at the end, it's a lot of money. Some games you're going to say, yeah, it's well worth it. Even Zelda, everybody gave it a 10, but it is still a lot of money. And for a family that's, then again, it is a luxury item. So, I mean, if you can't afford it, you shouldn't buy it. But, for it, $80 is $80. It's part of, your groceries for the week. It could be parking, parking fares if you have to pay for parking at work, or there's a lot of things else you can pay with $80. Um, Although it's not really an argument that a lot of gamers are going to have, they really don't care. They're just going to buy it. So having said that, so I download a lot of the free games. Now, my problem is not the fact that the game is $80, because I was trying to actually think about this back, when I was a kid, how many the games cost. I mean, obviously the games weren't as evolved as today. They didn't have as much production behind it. But I was actually curious because there was a lot of, now there's a lot of digital. I don't think they print as many copies. So I was wondering how much the games were costing. And then with a bit of research, I actually found that on the Nintendo 64, some of the original games on release date were $100. An example is Chrono Trigger. Apparently, it was $100 on launch day. NES games, so the regular NES games from the original NES, were anywhere between $45 and $60, and the SNES, the games were anywhere between $70 and $80, depending on the title. So N64 was pretty expensive, and Nintendo was always kind of up there in terms of pricing. I'm assuming the same pricing was involved with Genesis at the time, or whatever competing console was there. I know there were some other consoles where the pricing was really out of whack, but was the mainstream. This was the pricing. So really, if you adjust for inflation, from the 1980s till today, yeah, it was either at par or even more expensive back then, which is actually pretty surprising considering the amount of money that's put into games today, and you're kind of, you know, uh, kind of expected to pay more for it. But that's just me. The problem that I have with those is the fact that you pay for an $80 game. There's always a day one patch, which is fine, whatever. So it's kind of part of the game now. Of just the first time you put it in, you put in the game in your Xbox, you're gonna have a patch update of some sort. To me, it's the downloadable content. And a lot of times, I know this. A lot of other gaming podcasts have spoke about this, but I wanted to talk about my point of view. A lot of the DLC feel like they should have been a mission in the game. Um, Fallout 3, for example. Um, I finished Fallout 3, and I think it's that one that has the Brotherhood of Steel. And I kind of wish that it was part of the game. Because it didn't, like, I don't know, I don't know how much it was. I don't know, 5.99, 9.99 for the DLC. But it's extra money that I have to dish out. Now, in all fairness, the same buddy of mine that came up to me about the pricing, um, he had a valid point where he was like, well, if it doesn't hinder the game, like if the game itself is great and the downloadable content is kind of just an extra, and if you don't want to play it, you don't play it. If you it's for only the core gamers that want to play the extra, then he's fine with it. But if it's a part of the story that continues and it's out of the game, then that's the part that kind of is iffy. And I completely agree. But I also came from a generation where also the games were completely different, but you didn't have DLC or microtransactions. And for those of you who don't know what microtransactions are, in a nutshell, the actual definition of it is microtransaction is a business model where users can purchase virtual goods via micropayments. Some games allow players to purchase items that can be acquired through normal means, but some games include items that can only be obtained through microtransactions, or I call them also in-app purchases. And you see that a lot on mobile phones and like the iPhone and Android and stuff like that. But you have those in games too. Overwatch is king for that, or skins. For Injustice 2, you can buy skins for certain players, and I don't remember what the price is of it, but it's kind of pricey. Um, so does it hinder the gameplay per se? No, but because it's just a skin. However, it'd be nice at least if you buy. I don't know. Maybe if you can buy the deluxe edition. That's another thing I actually forgot to mention. So $80 now is a normal game. It's a AAA game, just a game. Normally, in some cases there's two other versions. So you have $100 game as well, and 120 or something along those lines. So one is like the Super Edition, and the other one's like the Deluxe Edition. But even in the Deluxe Edition, I don't know if I dished out $120 for a game. Let's say it's the Injustice 2. I don't know, maybe I would expect to have all the skins included in there. I don't know. I dished out enough money. Why should I dish out more? Yeah, you do get extra perks, I guess, when you do buy the game, but I just find it's cheating the gamer a little bit. But it's true, you don't have to buy. It doesn't hinder the game per se, but it'd be nice if you could have that character, those certain characters or that. EA is king for that. I think at one point they used to charge. I don't even know if they do this anymore. You used to be able to update your roster in NHL games to the current rosters for a price like $10. And that's kind of how you know, they started this thing, and microtransactions have been going strong ever since. So yeah, at face value, back when you had the NES, you paid $80, but that was the game, and that's it. Glitches and all, and you played the game and you liked it or you didn't. And another reason too, back then you had a lot of rentals. You were able to rent games. Kind of inexistent today. I don't know. I don't know. I think you can still do it for like $10. You can rent it for like 7 days or something. I know that here in Montreal, the Videotron stores or video stores, which are the few still remaining stores, um, they I think they still rent games, but other than that, renting games is very few and far in between. And another thing on I'm renting a lot on this one. And another thing on this one is that let's say you're buying the game physically and it's $80. Fine. What I don't understand is it's the same price for the digital version. You're not buying the printed version. You're not paying for the cover art. You're not paying for the disc. You're not paying for anything else. And normally it's the same price. And now, in general, I'm talking about consoles, right? And I also looked on Steam as well, because Steam is known for those the summer sale and the winter sale and the Christmas sale and a sale when it's a solstice and whatever, and you can get like relatively not old games, but you get relatively older games for like dollars, right? Like $2, $3, $5, $10, which is really cheap. But I was looking at Steam, and Call of Duty World War II is listed at $79.99. So it's the same price as it is on console or physical, digital. It doesn't matter. It's going to be the same price, which is surprising to me. It was actually surprised. Well, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting maybe $50, $49.99, but didn't expect the $79.99 tag. So all that to say, it's kind of expensive to buy games today, and I think, I think I said this in the last podcast. I think the future of gaming will be through subscription service. I mean, maybe Microsoft is a little bit too ahead of the game on this one, but I think that a subscription service where you get to play the latest games for a flat fee every month for a gamer like me is worth it. I haven't subscribed to the service yet, so I don't know how good it is. But quite honestly, like I'm paying $15 a month. If I can get most of the major releases that get released, even if they're delayed a little bit, my God, I save so much. You would save so much money on the long run. I don't know how it works in terms of downloadable content and whatever. I don't know how that's going to work, but that's pretty, I think that's the way it's going to be heading, and I think there's going to be more and more games that are going to be going that way, and because the games are getting movie type of budgets now, and the AAA games, the Call of Duties, the Wolfensteins, the EA sports franchises, they make a lot of money, but they also cost a lot of money to make. So they have to make their money somehow. So charging $80 for a game on launch day, and what I and I know it's a marketing ploy, and they do this all the time. There's a lot of games. At least I know of a few. Well, Mass Effect was one of them, but there's like other ones as well. On release date, are $79.99. The month after, like $39.99, and you're like, okay, why didn't you just release it at $39.99? Even I know that they're trying to make as much money as possible on the early getters, like the people that want. So in a way, they're kind of saying "f you" to the fans of whatever game there are, and saying, "Hey, you're going to pay the most." But if you're willing to wait, you can actually pay a little bit cheaper. And like, why don't you just have it at a lower price to start off with, and you can get more people to play it. So you get more people to play it. You have a better fan base, a better community. For you'll probably make the same amount or as much money, the same amount of money, or a little bit more money, or even make a hefty profit by having it that way. I don't think it hinders sales in any way. If anything, it'll make your sales better. So that's one part. So that's the consoles, the $80. Um, so in all fairness, so I alluded this a little bit previous to this. When you're a family or you have, personal things that happen, how do you play games? I mean, it's a distraction, it's an entertainment, but it's a pretty expensive habit if you think about it. If you pay like, a certain World of Warcraft a month per month, or you buy a game per month. Let's say you buy a game per month for shits and giggles. That's $80 a month, assuming you played full price. So you don't always pay full price. Sometimes you'll play a game that's $20. So let's make it a conservative $40 to make it nice and round. That's $480 a year that you're spending on just 12 games. That's a lot of money. But that's why I also love the fact that the PSN and the Xbox Live service offer free games every month. It allows me to discover older games. It allows me to play games for free. Look, best example, Batman, the Telltale series. Maybe I wouldn't have bought the first episode of The Enemy Within if I hadn't played that original game. Um, I think that there's a middle ground, and also at one point when they're going to have the virtual console again, I'm assuming, or some kind, or the online service for the Nintendo Switch, they're going to have somewhat of a free service as well for old Nintendo games, um, and so on. The problem with that, with the Switch, is that it's limited on memory. So I don't know how well it's gonna play. I don't even know. I'll be honest. I don't have a Switch, so I don't know if there's a USB port that you can have extra memory added. I know there. I think there's an SD slot where you can add extra memory, but I don't think there's a USB extension where you can buy like a 1 terabyte hard drive and put your games on there. Um, so I'm assuming there's a logistic reason why they did this. There's probably an explanation for that, but it's a little bit harder to do it on the Switch than it is on the other consoles. So, um, yeah, that's my take on it. I think that, in conclusion, I think that as a person that appreciates game, I think we have to, like an album, like a movie, you have to pay them the price if you like it. You have to put in the money and pay the people that actually put their sweat and tears into the games. I that I wholeheartedly agree. Um, but I just find in a day and age where a lot of it is digitalized, where physical media is not something that's as important, I think they should encourage online streaming by pricing it lower. Um, if I remember correctly, the original Halo, I had bought it at 59.99 Canadian, so that's 60. So the games have gone up in the last 17 years. I think it came out in 2001, so 16 years. My God, it's already been 16 years since the original Xbox. That's insane. Um, the consoles are expensive. Um, as a game machine itself, it's expensive. Like for me, it's worth it because I kind of use it kind of like a media center as well. So for me, it's worth it. I get no, my Xbox got paid paid off a long time ago with all the media that I watch. I rent my movies through there. I listen to podcasts on there. I listen to music. I play games, obviously. Um, I watch YouTube, YouTube type of apps. I watch the news on there. There's the ABC app I watch in there. The ABC app is not too bad. The CBC app is atrocious. Atrocious. It doesn't even launch anymore. Um, it's bad. And I guess they're not putting anybody on that, obviously, at the CBC due to budget cuts. But that would be a good app if they could make it functional. So I do that. I don't do too much browsing, but yeah, I do. Um, I do like the system as a media center, and I used my 360 that way. I'm using my Xbox One that way. I understand that's the way Xbox kind of envisioned the way it would be, like the one. That's why it's called the Xbox One, that one machine that does everything. But I think that for me, that's how I make it work. I'll be honest, I don't think the majority of the players have it that way. Um, I don't hear many people on the PlayStation either saying I do this on my, I watch YouTube, I do this. Usually it's I game on my PS4. Same thing Xbox One. For me, I just use it for the apps as well. Media Center, music plays well, especially in surround sound. They have some pretty decent apps. Maybe I'll do a top 10 Xbox One apps one of these days. I know it's not game related, but I think it's on the console, so I think it could pass. um, yeah, so that's my take. I think it's For the average consumer, I think it can be a little bit overbearing, especially kids that once they get done a game, the replayability, like the idea of having a Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt and playing that for 5 years straight, with barely playing any other games and buying another game, can be a little bit. I don't think that's possible in today's day and age and today's technology. Everything has evolved. I don't find the games necessarily as engaging, um, in terms of replayability. A lot of games that I play. I'll be honest. Human Revolution. I started replaying that. Maybe I'll do Mankind Divided, but it's two games that I really really love. But I haven't gone back. Like if I look back at the Wolfenstein, like I'm gonna buy Wolfenstein 2. I haven't replayed Wolfenstein 1. I haven't replayed the New Order. Um, so um, it can be a pretty significant price to pay. I do agree, $80 for a game is pretty expensive, especially Nintendo. Like it's a like at least for the PlayStation and for Xbox, I can kind of understand. There's the plastic, and then you have a CD that you have to you know put in the data. The thing for, and I'm not saying that it's costs less to make, but just comparing both, the other one is a cartridge. The Switch, it's a cartridge, but it's like a small cartridge that you put in. It's really small, and paying the same price for that as you would have like for a regular CD or packaging or whatever, I find is a little intense. But that's the way it is. It seems that they've always been that way, and Nintendo never shied away from pricing stuff a little bit more. We saw that with the Switch. We saw that with the Wii U. In terms of peripherals for the Wii and the Wii U, the Switch has just been expensive all around. The only thing that kind of is on the cheaper side is the online service, which is not online yet. So we'll see. That was my take on it. Let me know what you guys think. I think I spoke long enough about this topic. I'm at the 48th minute. Um, so let me know. Prices too high? Do you like microtransactions? Do you agree with paying for DLC, extra DLC for games? Um, Let me know what you guys think. Let me know on Facebook or Twitter, and I can discuss it a little bit further if there's a big enough discussion on that. Last thing of the week, my review of the week is none other than Paperboy for the Nintendo Entertainment System. In case that you guys don't know, the Paperboy was a game that was from the arcades of the same name, and essentially, and I wrote this in my article. Um, Essentially, it's a job that's dying, and I'm not sure anybody that was born in the last 10 years kind of knows what a paperboy is, depending on the region. So essentially, a paperboy is a person at a paper route. Back in the day, you had a kid, high school, usually high school, will go around delivering your newspaper every morning, either on bike or whatever. And this is what this game is. So you go through the days of the week, and you have your run. You have certain houses that have to get their stuff delivered. Some of them you don't. If you miss your delivery route by you're not putting it in the mailbox, you shoot it through a window or whatever. You lose that subscription. The goal is at the end you maintain the most subscriptions as possible, and then after 7 days you see how you did. At the end of each round, you have each day, which is a round, you have a bonus area where you can shoot hoops and so on. And if you hit them, some are blue, some are red. If you get different points for each. Um, the one thing that always struck me as weird in this game is the fact that you have the weirdest obstacles on the way to the paper route. Like you have like breakdancers, rogue lawnmowers. You have a tornado. You have dogs, people that run after you from the house, which would be typical, I guess, it could happen. At least that could happen. You can get hit from a car, which is fine. Apparently, a sewer too. If you hit the sewer in a wrong area, you can fall and fail. Um, you have even you even have the angel of death that come and sees you as well during the game. I think after one day of that, I would just like either ask for a raise or quit my job. To be quite honest, but it's a fun game. It's a game that I think anybody that has an NES should have in their repertoire. I think it's good enough. It's really really good. Um, I would recommend it for anybody to have it in their collection if they have one. I gave it an 8 newspaper runs out of 10. Um, I'm not sure if newer generations will like it. It's not a puzzle game. It's not a platformer. It's kind of, well, I guess it's a platformer, but it's kind of weird. It's not, you're just riding your bike. Um, the subject matter in this game is actually pretty boring itself. I think it was pretty boring when we were kids. Um, so I think that young people now would probably find it even more boring. But it is a fun game. I did enjoy it. I do go back to it from time to time. I think it's one of those games where I don't think it's just a nostalgia thing. I think I just like to play this game because I do like it. I think it's worth the pickup. So if you see it for a few bucks in the flea market, pick it up because it's gonna be worth it for you. All right, guys, this is it's been a fun episode. Let me know what you guys think. You can reach out to me on Twitch or follow me on Twitch at Corporate Gamer 9. I've been streaming NHL 94 on my Super NES for the last few days. My stream gets muted because I keep putting music on it, but I don't care because that's how I used to play video games when I was a kid, and I don't care if Van Halen gets muted. I used to listen to Van Halen when I used to video game. At least, like Paperboy, it's a great example. The song, it's like, at one point you're like, okay, I'm fed up with this song. So I used to put on music, and that's what I do. So if you catch me live, you'll probably hear the music. If you watch the videos after, you probably get most of it muted, so you won't hear me talk even if I do talk. Um, so that's my Twitch. You can also like me on Facebook at Corporate Gamer. You can follow me on Twitter as well at Corporate Gamer 9. My YouTube channel 123 Corporate. I usually upload um, my footage of video games that I put in my reviews on my YouTube channel, and I also put up my podcast as well. So my 2 podcasts when I can. And my website is https colon / corporategamer.net. So, all right, guys, have a good week. Talk to you.